my pleasure to introduce my friend, Professor Bernhard from the University of Nevada in Las Vegas. He's going to give us some very interesting insights into the world in Las Vegas. Over to you, Bo.
So a heartfelt thank you to my friend Peter Cohen. As I'm sure all who are watching this can see, this is an international community of good friends and colleagues who spend a lot of very thoughtful time thinking about the international global integrated resort universe. This is a world that, of course, has been interrupted of late by COVID and all of the travel impositions that now dominate our lives. I was very excited to see that your esteemed group of panelists, which of course include all of my friends, are very enthusiastic about the ways in which the world has changed, but that the world is also adapting to what will become a new normal, as we hear quite a bit. So yes, my name is Bo Bernhard, as you heard. I am not only the executive director of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas's International Gaming Institute, I also am vice president of the university. And as a leader of our university, we face the same problems and challenges that Japan universities face. In my case, we oversee the world's largest hospitality, tourism, and gaming educational enterprise. And because our students are in any given year from 30% to 40% of the best students in the world in global gaming and hospitality studies, we of course have very special challenges associated with getting those students back here. And that's what I have been focused on of late. However, I have in my role as executive director of the world's largest institute studying the International Gaming Institute at the International Gaming Institute, studying the world's this global industry, have been, of course, very focused on Japan. We have issued several research reports looking at everything from problem gambling to policy to business. And I'd like to share some insights, not only on that, but on what I think is, again, the new landscape that we all face as we think about what's going to happen in a post-COVID world. So I see that a number of the panelists have, of course, engaged innovation. And I would like to speak a little bit to our solutions and our beliefs about innovation and what we need to see in Japan IRs moving forward. The world, of course, has changed in many ways during COVID. And in many ways, it has changed for the better, at least as it pertains to entertainment. While we are not out and exploring things face to face as often as we used to be before COVID, we certainly have all become game players, which is really interesting for an integrated resort. All of us, of course, are spending even more time with our telephones, with our games on our telephones. And people from very, very young ages to very, very elderly ages are all gamers now. We have, during the COVID era and globally, become far more comfortable with playing games in a variety of settings. And when you think about it, this is actually very, very interesting for integrated resorts, which are, of course, sort of adult amusement parks. If the Disneylands that Tokyo has, of course, the best Disneyland facilities in the world. If those are the ultimate playgrounds for younger people, we can think of integrated resorts as the ultimate playgrounds for people my age and for adults. And in many ways, if you look at the evolution of the integrated resorts, it has evolved in ways that are somewhat similar to the evolution of amusement parks and other entertainment centers. And the reason for that, of course, is innovation. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas oversees an innovation park called Blackfire Innovation. The Blackfire Gemstone is the name of our Nevada state stone. And as a result, we have given our innovation hub this name. And this is a place where we invent the future. And in a way that Japan is very familiar with, because of course, Japan boasts many, many companies in technology that are very used to, of course, producing the next generation of entertainment. So to give you a sense, we have in this Blackfire Innovation Hub a place called the Esports Arena, and this is sponsored by global companies like Panasonic and Sony and LG. And these companies work together with us to build what has become a video game competitive sort of stadium, but a virtual one, of course, in the COVID era, that many integrated resorts are now exploring as an opportunity. If we think of, again, Tokyo Disneyland as a place where there are many rides at the amusement park, some of which appeal to different kinds of customers. The integrated resort is not just a casino, of course. It is a place that has many different kinds of entertainment options and rides, if you will, at the amusement park. And one of those rides, in a way that's perhaps surprising to the Japanese public, has been the incorporation of video games into the entertainment experience. So that when you get tired of one ride or one kind of entertainment experience, like dining or going to a show or gambling, you can then, of course, move to another ride, in this case, competitive video games in immersive environments and in ways that, once more, the Japan public is already very accustomed to, but I believe will be seen in a much more grandiose way in the integrated resort. So I think that's a real lesson for us as we think about this integrated resort era. The integrated resort is not just one stagnant thing. If you look at, as I do, the Las Vegas Strip or the Macau Cotai Strip or Singapore, each of those properties has changed dramatically since they were first built. When you look at, for example, the way in which Sands Cotai Central is becoming now the Londoner in Macau and incorporating a very European experience that the tourists to Macau love to enjoy. They love to imagine and immerse themselves in a replica of a European experience that now provides. In much the same way that the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore is evolving to incorporate a new arena experience and new convention experiences and new shopping experiences. When you walk through the shopping mall at Marina Bay Sands, you will have retail experiences that can compete with any in the world. All of that points to the importance of innovation and the recognition that these parks for adults, no different than parks for children, need to be in constant adaptation and innovation mode. And this is a language that the Japanese business community already speaks very well. In fact, they've taught us around the world how to experience entertainment differently, whether it is walking around with a Sony Walkman on our hip with our headphones in, which when I was a young person was such a dramatic change in how we experience music. So too are these companies, the ones that seek to open an integrated resort in Japan, eager to recreate the entertainment experience, to evolve the integrated resort into a much more dynamic facility. I'll leave you with one more illustration. The Resorts World property, of course, Resorts World, very much an Asia company, a company that has had tremendous success in both Malaysia and Singapore and elsewhere around the world. And they're about to open a Las Vegas Strip property that is already attracting tremendous global attention because it has a massive television screen on the exterior of one of these massive buildings on the Las Vegas Strip. Once more, that outward facing entertainment experience, which not only serves the people who are at the resort, but all of the people who are walking by on the streets of Las Vegas. These are experiences that anyone who's walked down into downtown Tokyo has experienced before and will be quite accustomed to. But in many ways, these world's largest, most complex, most expensive buildings that we call integrated resorts can be thought of as massive, multifaceted innovation centers for the entertainment industry. And for those who are thinking about this as only a gambling outlet, that is, of course, a little more simplified than I predict we will see in Japan. So for our friends in the Japan government, you have been so thoughtful. We have hosted you many, many times at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. As you have been my best students, just like my students in the classroom here, studying the best illustrations of the integrated resorts elsewhere. We've spent so much time looking at Las Vegas Boulevard, looking at both properties in Singapore, looking at the Macau experience, understanding the way that Australia has blended very much an Australian experience with a global tourism experience in some of their integrated resorts. And I would advise you to keep being a student. Never stop learning. And perhaps that is my bias as a professor at the university that, of course, teaches all of this. But I believe that's the only way. None of us has the perfect answer for what the perfect integrated resort will be. But we can think of two lessons that should give us tremendous confidence there. One is innovation is the way. So even as we try to produce the best possible integrated resort experience, we know that these are like canvases for artists and that they will evolve as we learn more about the best possible experience. And the second lesson is be a lifelong student, friends in the Japan government. Continue to get smarter, get better, as all of us do alongside you, as we think about the complex issues from, as I said, problem gambling to the economic impacts, to the types of jobs that we will see in these massive integrated resorts, to the community and government and tourism effects that we will hopefully see not too long from now as we all emerge from this COVID experience. So thank you for allowing me to meet with all of you. I look forward to doing this in person. I look forward to hosting you. You all have an open invitation to our International Gaming Institute and our Blackfire Innovation Hub at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. But I also look forward to getting back to Japan and going to my favorite Japan baseball games and enjoying the cherry blossoms and enjoying the food and thinking together about the ways in which we can create a unique experience that is unlike any other in the world in Japan's integrated resorts. Thank you.